Greetings everyone, it's IT2, and I have a new book to add to my favorites of all time list. This is Boy's Life by Robert McCammon. I've been waiting to read this for a long time, and I finally got around to it. Robert McCammon looks like that, or he did in 1991 when this was written. I don't know if it's meant to be loosely based on his real childhood. It's a coming-of-age tale. Written in 1991. And at the end, he marries somebody named Sandy. So I don't know. It's kind of a little bit supernatural of a story. It's kind of like Stephen King, but more normal. Let me talk about my copy first, because if you notice, there's some cuts here. There's some cuts down here. Like, I don't know if somebody put this in a box and they were trying to open the box with a box cutter, because it has like some slashes across the front. And then on page 248, there's some kind of stains that could be poop or blood or dirt, something along there. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, there's some other covers that are pretty cool too. This is the best cover. But it's a coming-of-age story about a kid. It's kind of like the voice, the narrator voice of it kind of reminds you of The Wonder Years or Christmas Story, one of those. But it's also one of those stories where so much weird, different, crazy things happen to this one person over time that reminds you of, like, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That movie that was based on Homer's epic, the Iliad or whatever. Or Forrest Gump. This happens a lot, Forrest Gump. Or that Robert Heinlein novel, Job, that I read. It's like one of those really interesting stories where just a lot of different things happen. Especially, it's kind of like it goes through the different people that live in this town, and you see how weird they are. But also, it's like set in Alabama near the Tecumseh River, so probably where Craft Chest lives, right in there, kind of. Makes you feel like you're in Louisiana a lot, though, because there's a lot. Okay, is some like racist kind of things like through the. This is back in the '60s. This was set in the '60s in Alabama, so the N word gets bandied about near the beginning, but then you learn the black characters, and it's kind of like To Kill a Mockingbird, and like I feel like this should be required reading for schools, maybe around freshman year, instead of like To Kill a Mockingbird. People should read this. To Kill a Mockingbird wasn't that good. This is actually really good. It makes you feel like reading it right now, at the beginning of summer, last day of school. That's like when a lot of this stuff takes place. That's really awesome too. I think kids would really like to read the story. But it also has a lot of similarities to It by Stephen King, or Stranger Things. If you like Stranger Things, you would like this, but it's not as... There's no like interdimensional travels or aliens or anything like that, but it's like weird little things. Like, there's a kid who's like super great at throwing a baseball. He can like do trick shots from like... He actually throws the baseball into the air, and it never comes down. So that makes you wonder, did he throw it into the atmosphere? Maybe. The boy has a bicycle that is semi-magical. It has like an eye in the headlight. You can't really see it on the cover, but it was given to him by this magical old black lady. And also like, kind of drives itself at one point. Like he can't really control it. It controls itself. And then when somebody bad touches it, it kind of grows spikes, and you'll like cut yourself on it, even though like he touches it and it's smooth. It doesn't make sense. Look, weird things like that. The town he lives in also has like legendary creatures or animals that kind of live around. Like there's this one that's like you don't really know if it's supposed to be like the Loch Ness Monster or a giant snake or whatever it is. Its name is Old Moses. It lives in the river, and every one day of the year, the black folks come out in this Cadillac, and they go to the bridge and they dump out all these like animal parts and organ meats and all kind of meat, and then the thing comes and feasts on it, and then he smacks the bridge, and you can feel it with his tail. You can feel like the vibration. So it must be something big, but nobody knows really what it is, or like like it's really weird. And then there's like this magical deer that lives in the woods that everybody says that they've seen. So people don't believe it's real. It's like this albino stag. And there's this monkey that gets loose and goes around the town like shitting on everybody. And like there's this ghost car situation where somebody died the year before and their car can be seen on a certain road, and that's like crucial to the story at a couple of points. And plus his bike is magical, I said that. But like, there's also like, it starts out him and his dad. This is back in the 60s, like when they had milk in those little glass jars and they had to deliver every day. His dad's on a milk run and he sees somebody that was killed roll out of this car into the lake, and he tries to save him and he can't, and he starts having these nightmares about this guy. So the whole plot of this book is like slowly trying to gather clues and figure out who that dead guy was, who killed him, knowing that while you're learning all these different characters in this town, one of them is a murderer and you're trying to figure out who it is. But that's not really the main point of the story, because it's mainly telling you like all the crazy stuff that happens as a kid and like who these people in this town are. So it's just like, it's not really like the main plot, but it kind of is. Let me read you a little story about this black lady. So there's this 106-year-old black lady. They call her the lady. I don't even know if it says what her real name is. She's got this guy that's like her bodyguard, sort of like the Moon Man. Like half of his face is white for some reason, I think. And he's got this old man that like fixes things, but he's like super slow, but he can fix fucking anything. And there's like 2 scenes in the book where there's bombs. One is like a regular, like a dynamite bomb, because some racist stuff is going down, and there's another bomb accidentally fell out of a nearby plane from like the army base that's nearby. Also, like Stranger Things. But the old fix-it guy, black guy, shouldn't know anything about bombs from planes, but he ends up like defusing one. Anyway, let's see here. Let me read you what the lady says when this character first hears about her, and he's talking about, she says, "I've been called a monster. Been called worse than a monster. I saw my mama killed when I need to get into the voice. Let me channel the voice of the woman from The Stand." What was her name? "Mom saw my mama killed when I wasn't much older than you. Woman jealous of her gift killed her. I swore I wasn't going to find that woman. She wore a red dress and she carried a monkey on her shoulder that told her things. Woman's name was LaRouge. Took me all my life to find her. I've been to Leopardsville and I rode a boat through the flooded mansions. I seen the dead walking and my best friend had scales and crawled on her belly. I've seen the mask maker. I've spat in Satan's eye and I've danced in the halls of the dark society. I had lived 100 lifetimes and I'm not dead yet. Can you see me, young man?" Like, what the fuck is she even talking about? They don't explain what any of that stuff means, what the dark society is, but it gets your mind working like, what the hell is this woman been through? And she kind of has like voodoo powers, right? She can like dream other people's dreams. She can like make, at one point she turns like an ammo bag of this guy that's coming out with a gun, like shooting people, turns it into a bag of snakes. So there's like some magic system in this. But really, she's the only one that has any magic, because she's the one that gives him the bicycle, which is also kind of magic. But there's also kind of this like weird things that happen. There's like a naked man that everybody, he's like, his dad's rich, and everybody's houses are mortgaged through his dad, so he's just like, I'm going to run around naked and y'all can't stop me. And everybody just kind of puts up with it. Like this whole town is like, there's the naked guy again, and there's the dick's out. You just all got to deal with it. And there's like the kid with the crazy arm. There's the monkey that got loose. There's like the Beach Boys song "I Get Around" got really popular, and the preacher got really crazy about it. That's how the monkey got loose. I forgot how that all happened, but anyway. Oh man, there's like the kid's, one of his friends gets killed. His dog dies, and he like brings it back, and it's like a zombie dog for a while. Man, there's so much cool shit in this book. Anyway, he finds this green feather where this car went down into the lake, and his dad's been trying to figure it all out. And then at the end, like it all kind of comes together, and like he thinks it's the one guy, and it turns out it's this other guy, and then his dad figures out another part of the clue, and they come together, and then it resolves itself. But I'm not going to tell you more than that. But man, it's freaking good. So, yeah. Robert McCammon, Boy's Life. This should be a movie, at least. I'd say it should be required reading in schools. Yeah.